Welcome back to our continuing adventures on the CyberDefenders platform. Today we are tackling MrRobot. So this is another memory analysis exercise, 24 questions, and it looks like 3 different memory dumps. So let's see. Scenario: an employee reported that his machine started to act strangely after receiving a not enough coffee apparently. Receiving a suspicious email for a security update. The incident response team captured a couple of memory dumps from the suspected machines for further inspection, analyze the dumps, and help the IR team figure out what happened. So, and we'll transition over. I have been going through and doing just a little bit of preliminary work. Basically, so I guess let's show here 1.1 gigs extracts out to, I think it's like 3.3, something roughly about that. But here's the images. So we end up with a VMSD and a VMSS file for each machine. So POS1, target 1, target 2. Obviously with that, we are going to run through with volatility to go through and basically interact with these to see as to what we can see. So it looks like the dump for POS 01, it looks like that's going to be a Windows 7 Service Pack 1 on the x86 platform. Same thing for Target 1, x86, and same thing apparently for, well, I guess it makes it a little bit easier. We can use the same profile for every sort of analysis that we need to go through and do. But so, and in the typical vein, I will be going through and pausing, basically to try to cut down the amount of time it's taking for the video to come up, and mostly for me to work on notes in the event that I have to refer back, or as to whether or not there's any follow-up questions. So hopefully we'll end up with something that's underneath an hour, even though I may be looking at, a few hours of time sunk into this for good notes, everything else like that. So effectively what I'm just doing right now is, now that I've got the image info for all 3, I am just making notes of that so I don't have to go through and waste the time to do any of this again. So I'll basically just have inside of a Notepad++ window. So let's go back and let's take a look and see as to what we're dealing with here in terms of the questions. And of course, because I have Remnox taking up the whole thing, so we'll grab the scenario text. That'll come in handy a little bit later when I go and make the video description for YouTube. One of these days I wouldn't mind sitting there doing something like this on a live stream. At that particular point, then it's just need to make sure that everything's all squared away. But okay, so what are we dealing with here? So this is giving us the individual targets, right? Target machine, target 1, target 1, target 1. Target 2. And then a couple on the point of sale, or the piece of, I guess we'll see. It's the file name that was delivered in the email. What is the email address? What email address tricked the front desk employee into installing a security update? Well, this will be interesting. I don't know that I've ever gone that far in depth in regards to digging around for trying to pull email information off of a memory dump. I'm assuming it's going to be whatever email client's going to be there. We'll probably end up having to do a memory dump of the process once we get all that together. But, well, at least we know what we're targeting here. So, all right. So again, same thing with the profile. We are just utilizing Win7SP1 x86 underscore 23418. Yes, that should be the profile for all of them. Okay. All right, now to start taking a look at what that looks like. So let me get this paused so I can start getting the commands crafted out. Okay, so we are doing a full.py -f, and because I'm in the MrRobot folder I created, there's the target1 folder, and then pointing to the vmss file that was inside there, doing the -- profile equals win7 sp1 x86 underscore 23418, and then ps tree to basically get a breakdown of everything. And it looks like we're looking for email, so it's going to be Outlook, and that looks like that's going to be 3196. So I believe that's proc dump 3196. And again, I'm using the Medium article and the volatility cheat sheet, which I will again include in the video description when referring back to... Oh, I did not specify. That's right. We use it as a dump. So memdump will be the next aspect, just so we can get the details for the email, hopefully. Okay. So that back up, -- dump -dir, and then dot should dump it in the target folder, or is it going to dump it just in the MrRobot folder? Because that's technically where we're operating out of. I guess we'll see. And then I'm just going to change out the proc dump to memdump so we can get everything there. Okay, no, so it's basically... So we can start getting the rest of the stuff out of that. Okay, so we carve the Outlook executable, which is not going to be all that helpful, I don't think. Not unless they're going to ask us to sit there and generate an MD5 sum of what was the... Or I guess there could be entirely possible that I'm missing a plugin. That might automatically go through and do emails, maybe? Oh, waiting on the volatility cheat sheet to refresh. But then we have a dump. So let's try, what is it, Foremost? Was the recovery tool last time that I used to sit there and try to carve stuff out from these DMP files. Still waiting. So, oh wait, I've still got the web browser up. Ivy. Waiting on the thing to go up here. So, did the proc dump, took a look at it, and it is literally just, as expected, the executable. I'm just waiting on this DMP file to be written out, and then we will give a shot for foremost. So, I'll sit there and put this on pause. Oh, interested time. There we go. Okay, that works. Foremost 3196.dmp. And then we'll have to take a look at the emails and see if we can find one that purports to have a security update. Fairly certain Foremost will extract like EML files and the like. Maybe? Hmm. Well, I think we might have a copy of the the payload, depending, but this is still going to have to be a little bit of work, I think, to try to put this stuff together. Okay, so we got a bunch of GIFs. Don't really care so much about the GIFs. We got a bunch of DLLs. We got executables. Hmm. OLE is one, so we might have to go digging through his, or I might have to circle back to take a look at this stuff. So what are the HTML files then? Or are these going to be the individual emails, making this that much more of a pain in the butt? I guess if that's the most that comes out of it, I guess I should be happy. Of course, I don't think I've ever had to sit there and actually extract or try to get information like that out of Outlook. Going through the volatility route. Well, now we sit and wait, so fun. I'm assuming HTML is going to be okay. I'm gonna have to sit there and take a look at a guide. I'm sure someone's gone through and done this before, so that at least there's some sort of, by that I mean extract information out of the Outlook.exe process. Not so much the actual challenge write-up, because I actually want to work this as opposed to just get the answers. So, okay, pausing again in for runtime. Okay, change of tactic. I decided I was going to just sit there and do string search. I thought I had a better chance of that than going through, because opening up all those HTML files and everything else like that looks like that was a bad path. But effectively, so all I did was strings pointing to the 3196.dmp, and I went through there originally grepping for just the @ symbol, looking to see as to whether or not if I could get any sort of email address portion was able to. So they're definitely sticking true to the MrRobot theme. allsafecybersec.com. Added that in for the grep, so the at allsafecybersec.com. Did the dash capital C 50. So in other words, I want the 50 lines pre and 50 lines post of where grep finds that. And basically just dumped it all into a text file, which is basically what we jumped in for me looking at. And there's a section here. Hello, Mr. Wellick from thewhiterose@gmail.com. Allsafe has recently updated our remote VPN software. Let's see. I don't use this. There we go. Please download the update from the link below. So it looks like VPN provider, and then they signed off as all safe IT support desk. Which means, because this whole thing was basically just get the email address, right? It was for the first question. Email address trick the yes. So let me whip this through. Sad thing is I need to go back and actually rewatch this from the beginning, because I don't think I made it much further than like halfway through the second season of MrRobot. I liked it well enough, just I mean, I was a big fan of the Burn Notice show way back when, and never even managed to make it through the final season due to personal matters. I think we'll leave it. So, okay, fingers crossed. We're on the right track. All right. What is the file name that was delivered in the email? Hey, that we actually know because we can go back. So that is anyconnectinstaller.exe. Basically parsing that stuff out. So it definitely makes it look like it is legitimate. Although I'm willing to bet that we'll go back. What is the name of the rat family used by the attacker? What, so I have to actually see as to whether or not the file actually exists? Actually, no, we don't have to. Let's grab the entirety. Let's see if URL house, hoose. There it is. I mean, let's see as to whether or not if this has actually ever been looked at. Is it in the general portion, or am I actually going to have to reach out and try to pull this thing down? Okay, it doesn't have that. Any chance that it just has the IP address, maybe? Possibly? Hmm. Okay, does it actually still exist? Well, I guess that's the other thing. I don't know as to whether or not if it doesn't look like this is gonna pan out. I'm trying to basically pull it up inside of Remnox, and does not look like it's actually going to come through. I mean, the AV on the platform that I'm recording doesn't seem to be flagging the connection attempt, so I'm assuming obviously that this thing is down. So I don't suppose that like the URL in question had been caught, maybe? Kind of luck out. I mean, obviously, if it doesn't have anything there, then okay. I guess we go take a look at see what EXEs we can extract out. 3 years ago? Wow. Uncategorized. And we do not have a hash value, so I can't pop it in there. Okay, I think I'm going to grab the exe files from the foremost and basically run those through to see if anything comes back. After that particular point, probably have to go see what I can harvest. But so I'm going to pause this again and start going and checking. Okay, changing tracks. Don't think I'm going to sit there and find it because obviously, okay, we got the link. Great. Except for the fact that we need the actual download itself. So, okay, we figured out the link. So I am assuming, since the only web browser that I see that's in memory is iExplore, I'm going to assume that was used to sit there and pull down. So I am extracting the memory dump for process 2996, which is third from the bottom off that PS tree for iExplore.exe. And I'll run foremost on it, and we'll see as to whether or not if I can pull down hopefully a singular or just a few exe files that I can run through VT and see what shakes out. I have removed the output folder from the MrRobot folder inside of Remnox. Of course, I guess technically I don't really need the executable either, so we can send that to the garbage. And I think I want to rename this now, because this is dump 3196 strings. That text, just in case I've got to run strings again and save it. Try to keep some sort of organization put together. So, okay, going back to pause, gonna run foremost to see what I can carve out. Hopefully be able to get the executable in question, this supposed AnyConnect installer, and we'll see what shakes out. Okay, hopefully this is exactly what I need. But so the creation of the DMP file finished. I ran foremost onto 966.dmp. It extracted it back out to, again, the output folder. How many are we looking at in terms of stuff that got dumped in there? Come on. 128 executable files. Oh boy. Okay, so I guess I'm going to start with the items that are higher up in terms of size. So we've got one here that's 2.3. Megs, and we'll see what happens. And could it really be something that, isn't going to be a few megs in size? I mean, I would think that, it would have to be a couple of megs to kind of at least come across as being legitimate, but of course the other aspect is I think there was a sub-process for cmd.exe. I might have to sit there and repeat the process with that. So again, interest of time, I'm going to stop and I'm just going to keep systematically running these things through. If I get a hit, or even if I don't by the end of it, then I'll pick back up. Okay, another change of tactic. Sat there and mem dumped that command.exe, got a bunch of executables, and I've been running through VT, got a couple of potential hits, but nothing that really shakes out. So I changed. It's like, okay, I have not used the file scan plugin command before. So what if we know what this is supposed to come down as. Any connect installer.exe from that email from the strings dump. So decided, okay, we'll do file scan on the target one mem dump and just grep for any connect installer. So we've got a couple of different entries here. So now I need to see about exporting them. So we're going to grab all this. I got to refer back to the I need the full command. I'm basically just putting this stuff together. Okay, so, and then we go back to the reference material. So specifically, this is that hacktricks.xyz that I will put in there underneath the file system scan and dump. So I need to do dump files -n -dump -dir. I'm going to just try setting it as just the straight out. And apparently it's Q. And then I need to take the memory addresses for the file in question. So we will take the top one. And then we end up with a command that looks like this. I don't know if this is going to work, because this is the first time I've ever actually sat there and tried to dump the files. But effectively, so I have got a couple of different memory locations for that particular file. I don't know how these dumps end up coming out, because I've never done this before. So I don't know as to whether or not if just pulling one will be good enough, or if I've got to do more. So I'm just trying to get these spun up. So apparently this should be done then. Did, and then an IMG. I don't know, apparently it's done, so let's just try dumping 57 out of 68. Wow, I haven't seen something that lopsided in a while. All right, and we're just going to try dumping the IMG file in. And then we're looking for something that ends in rat, according to the question. 1 year ago. Well, let's just go ahead and refresh. So I don't know as to whether or not this is going to make a big difference or not in terms of anything else, but the output files are referencing that. So let's do this. While this stuff is running through, I would like to start the second extraction. And then I guess I can just run MD5 sum. I'll put them into a folder and just ask it to MD5 sum the contents of the folder. We'll see as to whether or not if everything matches up, or I guess technically once this stuff gets pulled down, we can go from there. I mean, I'm seeing things like extra rat. But it's looking for how many characters before rat? 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 characters and then rat. Of course, I very well could be taking that a little bit too literal. I mean, we've got a kind of sort of version name. What else is it known as? So XT-rat. So I'm assuming there's got to be like Remcos or something else along those lines. Okay, well, I mean, we've got the starting point of XT. So I think what we're going to find out is that's going to be like extreme red or something like that. Because I think, so XTREME. Or it could be SDB bot. Or it could be extreme. That shows without space. Oh, the fun portion in terms of actually doing Google searches to find the name that they particularly want. Okay, so we've got all that good stuff. Now we move into the aspect of process injection. The malware appears to be leveraging process injection. What is the PID of the process that is injected? Oh boy. Oh. Okay, managed to find the PID of the process that was injected. So let me walk you through. It's basically just shooting off a bunch of stuff. So there is a hollow find plugin or command that for volatility that when you run will go through and give you an output similar to what's on the screen. Now obviously I dumped it to a text file so I can just be able to refer to it quickly as opposed to having to worry about trying to find it in console. So what we see here is it gives us multiple items in there. But if we take a look at holotype, process base address and memory protection discrepancy for 2996. Whereas if you look at all the other ones, so most of the other ones that are there all have the ones that be detected are going to be holotype no FAD entry for process executable. I was thinking I was barking up the wrong tree, ergo why I was not sitting there and actually recording at the time of putting in the numbers, but hey, apparently I got it. So, hollow find. Let me bring up the window. I ran a lot of different things. Malfind, DLL list. There was something else in there too. What was this one? DLL list, HoloFind, PS info, basically just a bunch of different aspects through. And then obviously HoloFind, and then paying attention to the hollow type to find one that basically stands out. Okay, what is the unique value the malware is using to maintain persistence after reboot? So I guess this is going to be a registry attempt. So I'm going to have to remember how to go through this stuff. But so let me get this paused quickly and we'll go back to it. Okay, so looking through all this, I did print key -K and then single quote software / Microsoft / Windows / current version / run, and let it run through. And we get multiple things here, but we see that we have the value of MrRobot, point to C users, AnyConnect installer, which is the same name of the malware that we had previously found. Whereas usually you would think that would be something Cisco or AnyConnect or something as opposed to the installer. So I believe we are looking at MrRobot. Since that's the value, at least in the registry, so yeah. All right. This might be a multi-part because we're already 40 minutes in and I'm only up to question 6. And realistically, this has been like multiple hours so far, but still within one day. Still Saturday. So we got that. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Okay. Malware using a unique value or name to ensure that only one copy runs on the system. What is the unique name the malware is using? So something dot dat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 characters. So I'm taking a look at the samples that we dumped up here. So we again see the aspect of the registry keys that were modified, creating the value MrRobot to go back to the last question, or second to last. And then I'm just looking for something here for like a dip dat. So isn't that technically like the mutex or whatever it is that they go with? Oh, looks like the rain is done. Oh, that'd be good. That means I can take puppy. So we got a data.dat.temp. We got a cache that's too short. And extreme server source.dat I think is going to be a little bit too long, since it's got to be 9 characters by the looks like, or by the looks of it. It looks like all the rest of the sandboxes have kicked off. The sad thing is it could be staring me right in the face, and I'm just probably missing it. I basically just go digging around here. All right. I'm gonna pause this again. But if I want to sit there and try to keep this as short as possible, so bear with me. Okay, digging through the virus total stuff, I just happened to just hit something, and for the mutex created that I didn't even bother to count, but from what I remember, it stands out. F society 0.dat. I got a sneaking suspicion that is exactly what we're looking for. Which, was it a DAT file or was it a DLL file in the show? That's the very first one where you, what is it? The main character goes into the server farm. Maybe it is a DAT file. I don't know. It appears that a notorious hacker compromised this box before our current attackers. Name the movie he or she is from. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, good Lord. Movies with hackers. So what am I gonna find? Like Zero Cool or Crash Override or something else to that effect? Oh, cripe. Okay, I have to try to figure out what else we've got to do in regards to Target 1. So let me pause and try to figure out, because it's like there's only a few black or like hacker movies. So like what? You have Black Hat, which is guy who plays Thor. He was in that, wasn't he? You got Sneakers, so it'd be like old school freaking stuff like that. Um, Hackers. I'm sure there's probably more. I think there was like a hacker sequel that was supposed to be loosely based off Kevin Mitnick, but okay. I guess I just still the same machine. So okay, let me look for something else that looks odd. Well, I figured a good place to look for some sort of persistence would be to take a look at or run the hash dump command, see as to whether or not, usernames, passwords, these are the hashes. Yeah, administrator, guest, or front dash desk. So apparently it's not going to be that easy. Okay, so ran file scan to sit there and output that to a text file and started digging through. On a wild hunch, I just started typing the word 0. And there is a user account. So /device/hard disk volume 2. So C drive, users, 0 cool. Which would be the movie Hackers. So let's see if I am partially on the ball with this. Oh, I don't know how you would go about doing that if you weren't aware of the movies, stuff like that. Well, I guess if anything, you did up with homework for a weekend to go through and watch hacker movies. What is the NTLM password hash for the administrator account? Well, I guess it's partially a good thing I did the hash dump already. Question is, how far up do I gotta go? Oh, right there. And so it starts with 7940, at least according to that. Let me get Remnux out of the way. Transition back. And submit. There we go. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. The attacker appears to have moved over some tools to the compromised front desk host. How many tools did the attacker move? I'm gonna probably have to go digging through that file scan then. Text document. Which, I mean, is fine. Because I'm assuming now we're talking about the so if I just grab everything, dump it into here. Well, crap. Zero cool only shows up twice in that entire file scan directory. I need to somehow figure out where those tools would end up. Okay, pausing again. All right, day 2. I ran Timeliner and it was taking a while. It's just like, well, screw it. So I have been digging through everything in a attempt to figure out one, in terms of tools that were dumped, and the password for the front desk local administrator account, which we pulled previously. I don't remember though if we actually went through and tried to crack it at all, as it was yesterday. Okay. So I could sit there and try to brute force it, or move some tools to the compromised front disk host. How many tools did the attacker move? What is the password? Use the test to take the test. So we have NBT scan. And then I also have oh yeah, Remnox, obviously. So I have the MFT parser results. So let's see if we have an actual hit for this NBT scan. We do, inside of Windows temp. Okay, so I guess that would make kind of sense. What about, so let's see, we got a TMP file, TMP file, TMP file, TMP file, which, okay, yeah, kind of expected. It is, you know, C Windows temp. nbs.txt, so that might be something that I'll want to go back and take a look at. But I'm wondering if there's any other executables in here, and maybe that will give me the wtemp rar.exe, so that's nbtscan.exe, rar.exe. Get lsas serve address. WCE. And we go back to NBT scan. So what, looks like 4? I mean, because it's just how many, right? Of course, it had to do that weird, what is it, 8.3 naming convention? No. Okay, how about the one that wasn't the get LSAS. So NBT scan, WCE, and RAR. Okay. All right, I can get behind that. And we need password for the local administrator account. So we come back to that. So I'm assuming RAR is going to be the full thing to like the command line to execute stuff. So yeah. I know it's not happy the fact that I'm on VPN, but I'm not gonna sit there and run this stuff without being on a VPN if I can help it. Really? Come on. I'm human, damn it. Really? Again, more. Oh, apparently I'm coming out as a robot. Oh, because apparently I can't solve captions. Oh, cripe. There we go. So NetBIOS name server scanner. Really? Apparently people be using the same VPN as me doing some bad shit. Windows credential editor, huh? What's interesting? So that makes me wonder then. So, I mean, we've got all this stuff. So let's go take a look at all the individual sections in here. No, so okay, it makes sense then. So they're going to do the NetBIOS scanning. They're going to sit there and be able to sit there, and I'm assuming credentials editor will be able to sit there and output what the credentials are. And then RAR obviously to sit there, grab any relevant information. Once you've established the beachhead, grab creds, anything else like that, zip it up, or RAR it up, I guess in this case, and basically send it off. Oh, okay, yeah. nbs.txt. And it basically just kind of breaks out what we see here. So that might be something else to take a look at. So is there anything else here? Wait, w.tmp? And it talks about WCE again. So what is this, like a temp file that it writes or something? Oh, I've never seen WCE before. Oh, crap. Just realized I'm not sharing the right screen. So basically, I found inside of Windows Temp the MBT file that basically looks like it shows a bunch of different host names in it. So going back through and looking at the temp files, stumbled upon this one, down arrowed a bit since all I'm looking for is just Windows/temp/, and I happen to notice at the top of the data, and of course it kind of spells it out there too, WCE version 1.42 beta, and then basically says Windows Credential Editor. It looks like it grabbed it for us, so we don't have to worry about cracking the stupid thing. So it looks like the password for front desk is all safe cybersec. That's kind of a crappy password for the front desk, especially if it's all uppercase. And then it looks like administrator, front desk dash PC, looks like flag admin at 123. Okay. That one, I guess, is a little bit better. So I remember the question did include a @ sign. So flag admin at 1234. Okay, I'll take that. A heck of a lot easier than going through and trying to sit there and brute force the hash that's there. Standard create date timestamp for the NBT scan tool. So is that something we're going to find in... And yes, I realize I have not switched back over. Just in case somebody starts yelling at their screen. I am consciously aware of it this time, which is actually kind of interesting considering the fact it's dang near 11 o'clock local time. This is first coffee of the day. I haven't even touched it. Oh, those mugs do a very good job on keeping hot stuff hot and cold stuff cold. Okay, so we're looking at the create timestamp. So, I mean, these match up, right? Yep. And then modified is the same as created. Same thing with accessed. Okay. Let's flip back over. Transition. Okay, good. Month, day, 10, blah, 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 UTC. Okay, what if we just take out the stuff extra? Okay. And that was with basically piping the output of... Well, actually, I can show you. Let me get the command window back up. And I realize, yes, in particular instances like this, that yes, I am doing stuff in the background in order to basically create these things, just because of the amount of time that it takes. And me being partially impatient since it's the weekend, I've got other things I got to take care of, you know, like we all do. But so basically you can see the command there. So vol.py space -f space, and the way that I have everything set up, but basically pointing to the target one VMSS file. Again, with the same thing as before, what we determined on day one of all this stuff. that we're using the -- profile equals win7sp1x86_23418 profile for all three of these particular memory dumps. And then it is mft parser, and then obviously the caret, and then I dumped it obviously to mft.text, which is what we were just looking in to go through and pull this stuff together. So I'm sure it is really only taking a couple of minutes to go through and parse that stuff, but this has not been a quiet-esque weekend. There's still been running around to do. Like there always is. Welcome to life, right? But it is what it is. And this is more of a continuation of getting better with volatility myself. Because as I'm recording this, I am going to be making my attempt on the BTL1 certification exam. So Memorial Day weekend. I've got to figure out what else I have to do in regards to that. So going for above 90% because I really want that challenge coin. I have only a very small collection of coins. But it is always nice to be able to sit there and get those when possible. Decorates the desk a little bit, or if you get like something to mount up on the wall, you can sit there, and whenever you're starting to feel frustrated, you can sit there, look at that, and be like, you can remember that yes, hard-fought wins, but still wins. Anything is possible. Oh, I guess we're going to be doing a lot more stuff in this mft.text file. So I say that because moving on to the next set of questions. Are we almost done with target one? I mean, not that I'm getting tired of target one, but it's what, 24 questions and we're already up to number 12? So nbs.text. And we're looking for the IP address of the first machine that's in that file. So we are jumping back to Remnox. Excuse me. And we are going to do mbs.text. There you are. And it looks like the first IP address is 10.112. And yes, it is not lost on me the fact that obviously when you go through and are actually working a actual investigation, you're not going to be able to sit there and use the questions to answer the questions. So what did I say? 10.112. Session expired. Okay, hang on. Okay, took a few moments, but I got signed back in. So back we go. For a second there, I was worried. So oh crap, was this just a fake nbs.text file? What is the full IP address and the port? What's the attacker's malware using? Okay. Um, network. Okay. Net scan, what can you show me? So that stuff, what we previously established, injected into iExplore, so the 2996 process. Let's just clean it up. Show me anything involving 2996. Okay then. We got one hit. Oh, I had to recall back as to what we've already covered so far in this course, or exercise, I guess I should say. So it looks like 180.76.254.120 on port 22. So, it took me a second to sit there and kind of run through this. So let's see. It looks like it is a 2-digit port per that. Hey. Oh, look at that. Last two questions. Remote administration. What's the name of the running process? Is it? So it's like, okay, so how do we know TeamViewer? Just the whole aspect of looking at the file scan stuff. Let me bring this back up. Do I still have? Oh, it was also the process tree. So I'm running psxview because if I remember correctly, TeamViewer is actually still running. And you can also tell from when we did the net scan, the bottom two entries there. So TeamViewer.exe and TeamViewer underscore, I think it's supposed to be desktop.exe. And honestly, this is more kind of going with a rough gut feeling as opposed to actually investigating. But it's shown up before, so. It's going to be a sad day. I'm going to have to retire this machine and put in a different one. Because apparently trying to do the recording at the same time I've got this thing running, but then again, I mean, the system I'm running on, I mean, still great for its time, everything else that I need to effectively do with it, but it's only a, what? I mean, 16 gigs of RAM, but only a 2-core processor for an i7. So, the new one I've got is, what did I do? I think I slapped 32 or 60, no, 64 gigs of RAM into it. GTX 7 or 2070 Super. And then an i9. I don't even remember how many cores the thing has, but wow. Okay, this is taking a while. There's where effectively I ran the MFT parser last time before getting a clue. Be like, yeah, let me just pump this into a text file. That way it can take as long as it needs. Oh, this is just taking a bit. There we go. But so third from the top, it does show TeamViewer.exe. And it looks like, I'm pretty sure the TV underscore W32 is another process for that. So just from having seen that from earlier aspects of analyzing this dump is basically how I was able to sit there and just kind of jump to that. And so the next question is, the attacker appears, or it appears the attackers also used a built-in remote access method. What IP did they connect to? So built-in remote admin. So what? Remote desktop? It's going to be my guess. And I believe we see it there, MSDTC, right? Or is that the help aspect? I'm trying to fire it up on my local box since it's a Windows 10. Or did I miss? Okay, I'm not looking at it straight on. I'm actually looking at it through OBS as opposed to MSDTC. We've also got MSTSC, which that one I'm fairly certain is the that's remote desktop. And that's typically what 3389 on the Windows side. So I mean, we just had that net scan. So do we have? Let's just do the same thing. Get me a net scan for anything 3389. I mean, I'm running off of, again, another hunch, but okay. And then what did they connect to? So 10.11.21, if I'm reading that right. So let's remove remnox quick. So what I say? I said 10.11.21. Oh, so much fun. So much fun. And that's a majority of the questions. Yeah, because I think from yesterday it's only what, 2 or 3 questions for like the POS system. So I wonder if it's actually technically point of sale or if it's something else. But okay, where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. There it is. Now we move on to target 2. It appears the attacker moved laterally from the front desk machine to the security admin's Gideon machine and dumped the passwords. What is Gideon's password? Gideon wasn't he the owner of AllSafe in the show? I think so. With E-Corp as their biggest client. So then we need to, okay. Gonna pause. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup on the MrRobot directory. So all the stuff from, or all the files that I've created or dumped out, written out, you know, like the mft.txt, filescan.txt. The rest of those things, gonna get those into their own separate subfolder, and just to clean stuff up for moving forward. So I will be back. All right, got everything all nice and cleaned up. So we've just got the original, and then obviously the target 1 dumps folder. I know I could have probably come up with a better name, but okay. So I guess the only thing I didn't really clean up was the screen, but so we basically just switched everything around. So we got target 2 instead of target 1. So target 2 dash 6186 FE9F.VMSS. And again, with the double dash profile equals Win7SP1X86 underscore 323418. So we're basically just starting off with running a hash dump. Because we need to see about procuring Gideon's password. I really should stop pulling on that. Oh. Oh, crap. I think I just made this thing's worse. I just hit a button I didn't mean to, and it launched a web browser, which already stretched, which kind of screwed this. But it looks like it's still recording. It just might have been a little bit choppy there. Okay. Well, at least we got Gideon's hash. Now here's the question. Is Gideon's hash something that we're going to find easily on CrackStation? Or I'm wondering as to whether or not if there's going to be another case where this was a pivot and WCE was run. I guess we'll find out momentarily, won't we? Okay, so, and yes, I realize you can't see what I'm doing. Tractors. Oh, looks like they're home. Okay, gonna pause again. Ah, crap, not found. Okay, so I've done a little bit of legwork. And apparently, once they jumped to Gideon's machine, looks like WCE was run, although I did find evidence of a bat file. So instead of users, Gideon 1.bat. So it looks like it does run wce.exe and then outputs to a w.temp. Okay, so it looks like Gideon's password. Gideon / all safe cybersec T76FRJHS. Okay, that seems like a much better password. And one I'm not entirely surprised that CrackStation didn't have. Let's go see. Oh. So we're looking for some sort of password that ends in asterisk at pound. So was that a password that was pulled out anywhere else? So let's see. So we'll go through and let's search for this and see if any of it shows up anywhere. No. We're not going to look out that way. Well, I mean, it was effectively worth a shot. So let's see, it was PS info. I've been trying to create the supporting files. Just like previously. Okay, I'm gonna make the rest of the dump files, that way there's less time to have to screw around with anything else. Getting so close. Okay, so I ran CMD line. Output it just like with everything else, just looking to see if anything would go through there. And didn't see anything that looked like it would help us. And then I remembered that there is a CMD scan. So from here, we can actually see the execution of the wce.exe and directing the output to the w.temp. We get a bunch of stuff of who am I. Looks like it maps. Z drive to 10.1.1.2 using the, what is it, the IPC? So the C $. Looks like they copied crown jewels over. Yep, so there's the RAR that was following everything through. So it looks like, yeah, so it looks like they were staging. But then we have this dash HP 123. So it matches there what we're looking for. So what is the dash to denote like something H password? And so it's going to be everything after that point. I don't know. We'll try it with. Actually, how many characters before the. Because there are 6 if we don't do HP. And if we include the HP, then there's 8. And it looks like that is 6. So I'm assuming that we're not going to include the H and the P. Yeah. And then from here, what was the name of the RAR file created by the attackers? But do they want... Okay, they do want the asterisk. So that was crown jewels. So CROWN. Here, let me throw this back in here. As it's denoted in the command scan results. Or CMD scan, I guess I should say it. So let's see if I'm on the right track. Let's make sure there's no extra white space. Oh, we're still on target. Oh, geez, two more, and then we'll move over to the POS. Oh, we're almost done. We got an hour and a half of recording time and a couple of hours easy in terms of everything else. Okay. How many files did the attacker add to the RAR archive? So what, we're gonna have to find and extract a copy? And then, I mean, we know the password, so we can go from there. Okay, I'll have to go back to the file scan results, I believe, and see if I can find that crown jewels. So it's, or if I can, oh, wait, it didn't transition. Crap. But yeah, there you go. So crown jewels with a Z.rar. And now I'm gonna have to figure out what else we have to do in regards to that RAR file. So, okay, I'm gonna go get more coffee and I'm gonna have a think. Okay, because the command scan shows a process for that conhost.exe, so this is obviously our big thing. So 3048 is the process. And I did do a PS. So we're looking for 3048. So that does exist. So can we do it? Memdump dash process 3048. What is it? Dump dash dir. Right? Or is it, do I have to put the equal sign? I always forget about that aspect. So what is, we're waiting on that to go. Let's refer back to the helpful strings per process. Okay, yeah, so dash dash dump dash dir space dot. And then I can try running strings against the dump file that comes out. I'll probably just have it pop out and straight to a text file to go through it all. Okay, and then we're back to waiting. Although, I do wonder as to whether or not if it would be possible to sit there and run foremost on that process and see as to whether or not if the RAR file would fall out. Because then you could effectively just go through and use the password to open it up, and then you have the RAR file in front of you and you can take a look at everything. Kind of worth a shot, I guess. I mean, this has kind of blown up the whole aspect in terms of trying to have this done and have less than an hour. So we run strings. What am I typing on? I do not know because it's not my active window. Strings 3048.dmp and write it out to 3048 strings.text. And just because I want to actually know run foremost on 3048.dmp. And while that's going, we can go and actually look elsewhere at the strings file that we've created. All right, so crown's not included. Dang. Oh man, so much. I mean, I don't even know as to whether or not if I'm even remotely close to being. Well, that finished. I don't suppose we would luck out and have a RAR file? No. Donuts. I can't really expect that, we're going to see. I mean, I guess maybe, just maybe there would be. I mean, if there was a bunch of like executables or source code or something else like that, I mean, I suppose maybe then, but um so it was looking for text files. F about scripts. So do we actually have anything here that about scripts help text? I mean, a lot of this just kind of looks. Um, what about HP, since that was a flag? Since we're doing the dash HP. I mean, it seems like this is getting us lower. because I didn't really expect there would be that many HPs. Okay, what is it? Is that was the password we supplied, but I don't see the HP. Is there? And that's what, the only one that's here? Looks like it. Okay, what about dash 8 JP HP? I'm not seeing anything else that basically goes with it. So we got the domain, all safe cybersec.local. So the local stuff, okay, does this have the option to show? All right, just gonna grab this and let us dump it into Notepad++, or am I just, I'm not gonna be that lucky. Oh. Cat 3048 strings dot text grep or so apparently we had a packet capture at some point. Apparently something to do with pfSense. I mean, we've got the dash, at least in that one, but there's a second dash HPF. Hmm. What if we grab for TXT and just give me a huge list of everything, because there was a lot. Nothing that really looks like a... Nothing that looks like a file name. Mm. Windows.strings.strings dash dash string file. I mean, technically I've already created it, but so I'm looking at the other aspect on the metaphorical cheat sheet about basically calling the stuff inside of volatility, just in case. So strings file is 30, 48 strings dot text. So we're going to take that and we'll see whether or not if we get anything different here. Does it get any better or does it just get worse? Specify the file, windows.strings.strings dash dash string file. No such option. String file. Well, because I mean we have or is this going to be like running strings against the entirety of the whole thing, which is just going to be strings file not found. Okay, back to the drawing board, try to figure something out. Okay, so here we go, day 3, as you can no doubt tell. Different white shirt, although that probably doesn't stand out, but the haircut does now. So day 3, I'm working on this exercise. I spent a good deal of time combing through strings for the process dump of the con host. Did not find a dang thing, so I kind of went back to what's been a Hail Mary. I ran the target 2 .vmss file. Um, Dropped that on my Windows box, pulled out string64 from sysinternals, and basically had to go. It created something like a 100 and some odd. Yeah, 175.9. So 176 meg strings text file. And I figured, okay, well, we have it, so why don't we sit there and take a look for um, Crown Jewel. And what we get, interestingly enough, is apparently something inside. We've got like a 5Z :/Crown Jewels, but with an S. We do see the aspect for calling rar.exe. And we see tucked in here things like Crown Jewels /secret sauce 2. More references to the rar file that we end up seeing, so that looks like that's the after effect. I don't know as to whether or not if there's a different way to go about trying to sit there and put this together. If you're much better with volatility than I am, and you have an idea as to how to basically put these portions together, that's effectively what I'm going to look for. But in terms of response, but realistically, jeez. But we see in here, and I did do a little bit of research. I guess the -HP is to actually specify a password for a rar file. So instead of doing just the -P. So that explains as to why one of the previous answers wasn't, HP 123 QWE asterisk @ hashtag or £, depending on your age. So I happen to see the whole aspect in terms of secret sauce. So I figure maybe we can just grep for secret sauce. See how many times this shows up. So, I mean, it fits the criteria that we're looking at, and I just could not come up with anything else to throw at this thing. So this is always, like I said, effectively the Hail Mary. Creates a metric butt ton of data. So you got to be extra patient, ergo why this stuff was done. I just kind of stopped until I could have a little bit more time to go through and actually continue the recording. So if I'm looking at this right, it looks like we're looking at secret sauce 1, secret sauce 2, and secret sauce 3.txt. Although I thought this was all safe cybersec, not McDonald's with their Szechuan sauce. So that looks like the only things that showed up there. So I'm going to say 3 files and we'll see as to whether or not. Good way to start Monday morning. Or has it been 4 days? Oh God, I don't even know how long I've been recording now. Well, almost 2 hours for the live stuff, but all the background work waiting for things to process. Okay, what do we want to do? Schedule tasks. Oh, wasn't there an entry for scheduled tasks in this? It's probably sitting right in front of me. I just don't see it. Okay. So let's see. Can anybody recommend a way to go through and sch tasks.py. Okay. Because if I remember correctly, it does talk about, what is it? Plugins that aren't included with. At least I thought there was a section in there that talked about external plugins. So I might see about grabbing that scheduled tasks, and I think there's even an auto runs portion to sit there and process the events. I mean, if it could sit there and pop out a auto runs file, that would work wonders for me. But yeah, like they give the example here. So I wonder if it's got to be. I wonder if you could basically just make like a plugins folder in the root of the stuff. So we've got the MrRobot folder. I wonder if we could just make a plugins, drop the stuff in there, and basically have it point and pick. Or I would have to probably specify the full path. Hmm. Okay, this is already a long enough video, so I'm going to sit there, pause this again, and I'm going to play around with these. And since it's Monday morning, I've actually got to do work. Got to get on that clock and do the grind. But so let me get this paused here, and we'll see about picking this up when I've got a little bit of time. Okay, another like 10 hours later. Still only on day 3. Um, Still no additional progress made. Still on the final 4 questions. 5. So, when I had paused the session, I was going to go through and take a look at those external plugins because we're dealing with scheduled task. And stupid me didn't remember at the time that there's a chance that the files written are in like C Windows tasks. So there might be a chance it could be in there. Something off of file scan or MFT parser. So what we actually have is I went back through MFT and just did a search for Windows/tasks/ and we got something in at1.job, and it kind of parses this stuff out here. So we see that apparently it is calling C users Gideon 1.bat. Now, obviously, like we miss out on particular aspects as to what the trigger is, everything else along those lines, but we get to see the file it's called. So rather than have to dig through all that, because I guess technically, if I'm remembering correctly, if we were to extract that at1.job, we wouldn't actually be able. It's not human readable, so there's it's encoded in some sort of way that I don't think is easily reversible. But I could be wrong. But we don't actually have to go all the way through that. So then obviously the answer that they're looking for then should be 1.bat. Okay, final 4, as it were. And just enough to basically kick over to the point of sale. So we're looking for what is the CNC. Okay. So again, in just like what I did before when we switched from target 1 to target 2, I want to again pause it because we're already over 2 hours for the actual recorded time. I'm going to clean up the files, everything else like that, and basically get everything set up. So like um, changing the file name since it's not just pos.vmss. There is like a dash and some other stuff in there in the file name. So I'm going to clean this stuff up, get everything all nice and set, and we can start working through that stuff. So yet again, one more pause. Hopefully the final pause. Hopefully. Okay, so we need to find the network connection for the malware CNC server to get the IP address, the common name of the malware used to infect the POS system. So we've got to get an actual sample, I guess. And the POS malware whitelist. What application was specific to AllSafe CyberSec? And what is the name of the file the malware was initially launched from? Okay, so I cleaned everything up, and basically I ran a metric butt ton of the plugins. So command line, command scan, connections, con scan, file scan, malfind, MFT. Well, technically it's MFT parser. NetScan, PS list, PS scan, PS tree, PS xview, sockets, sock scan. I think that was about it. Because of the fact it was going to take time for all that stuff to complete, so I figured, okay, screw it. Just go through, get it done now while the recording's paused, and we'll go through the results there. And if I need to call something up, I can call something up. So we'll clear the command line, so we got a clear working space. So we need to find the okay, so con and connections apparently do not work with the portion. So we've got NetScan. That at least works. Thank God for that, right? And then bring up PS tree. Looking at PS tree, I mean, I don't see anything here that immediately stands out. I mean, we got Java. I always blame Java. But I mean, just like a quick glance down the process tree, I don't see anything that stands out. I mean, i.e. Internet Explorer with another sub-process of Internet Explorer, but we've got Excel, we've got WinWord, so I mean, possibly a malicious document or something. I don't know. And then reg server 32.exe. Why the hell would that be running? Just as standard. And then obviously the typical SVC hosts. Lots and lots of those. And then from there, we would be looking for connections going out. So let's see, we've got whatever's at 10113 for Outlook. We got iExplore hitting 54, 84, 237, 92. LSAS for some reason for 108, 162, 130, 232, 200. Another one for SVC host for 23, 396, 251. Another one for Outlook. Outlook at 108, 162. It seems to come up with LSAS and SVC host. And it looks like other internal addresses. So how about malfind then? Is there anything here that just immediately stands out as a little bit weird? Explore. Explore. Notepad, huh? Notepad. Outlook. Excel. 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 That page, execute, read, write. Protection 6. Although it starts with the MZ, whereas none of the other ones do. Which isn't that the, what is it, magic bit or whatever it is for, to denote that it's a Windows executable? But yet, like, Excel doesn't start with that from this particular aspect. Okay, so is there another iExplore that's in the connections list for this reaching out? I mean, it's a rough idea, but that's about it, because I don't remember seeing LSAS in there or SVC host. I could have gone past it, but and yes, I realize that you cannot see, since I've basically moved outside of Remnox and switched over to a web browser. So I want to take the IP address that we've got, and I just want to dump it in to just get some sort of rough idea as to what we're dealing with. I mean, I suppose it could just be like a web page that's like up or something else like that. So it's an Amazon. Supposedly it's clean. We don't have anything else for this to go back to. And so it could be just about anything that would be there. Okay, how about the one that LSAS was reaching out to, an SVC host? So VT doesn't pick anything up, but it's Cloudflare. Neutral, not listed, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, we got URL host too. So was there anything ever at that IP address? And since I didn't run the last one through, let's see if there's been any malware that's ever been. No, not on that one? Okay. Nope. How about that one then? The first one that IE was pointed to. Nothing? Okay, let's expand it out. Oh, did I not put that in right? IBM Threat Exchange. You'd think I would remember right off the top of my head the addresses to get straight to it. But unfortunately, I do not. Exchange.xforce.ibm cloud. otx.alienvault.com. So did I just, maybe I just butchered the spelling. Nope, not gonna sign in. I don't need to sign in. I need to peruse, see if you've got any intel for me. Oh, hello. Mentioned on Twitter, Dexter. I'm not immediately aware of, I'm assuming PWS, that would be password stealer for 132, Dexter.a. But, but we go down to 2015 down here in the lower left-hand corner, allsafe underscore update.exe. What's the organization that we're responding to for a breach? Allsafe. So I don't know. I think we might have found an answer early. IBM have anything? At one point it was bots. Of course, the, oh, what is it? So it's like if I go back to this, I open up MFT. Yeah, 2015 is like the creation date. So I'm assuming that's roughly the time frame that we're pretending this occurred in, even though right now it's 2022. So that would mean that, well, okay, it looks like during that time frame. We'd have to go back. View all. Give me the entire thing. Does it change at all? No, they don't attach the bots to it until, if I'm reading it right, 2018. But I'm thinking our threat intel on this might be on the nose, especially with the whole all safe update. So why don't we try that? Was initially launched from, let's see. Threat intel for the win, baby. A little bit OSINT. I'll have to probably go back and see as to whether, if I can find evidence of that from the memory dump as opposed to going through and doing this way. With that there, then I'm going to say that this one looks like our prime candidate. All right. Two left. Oh, I'm happy. Common name of the malware. Dexter from the detection? One. Just one. Oh. I don't suppose it would just be like a double up, right? All safe update? Or is it just going to just hope for too much? Nope. Okay, so then that looks like we were on the nose then. Some sort of injection into iExplorer, which would explain the connection going out over port 80, which, with utilizing OSINT and threat intel, able to figure out, okay, this is commonly seen with the Dexter password stealer, although I've never heard of Dexter before, but I also don't do much with point of sale systems either. So we would need to figure out what would we want to do. I think that we would probably want to go through and dump the 3208, and let's try running that through everything. So, um, file dump process 3208 dump dash dir dot. Yeah, I realize, yes, I'm not showing, right? File dump. Hang on, let me go back to volatility. No such option. That was supposed to be for the PID. Um, well, we could do the memory dump, so mem dump. And that should do that. So let's just switch this out then. Instead of file dump, mem dump. I think what I'm thinking of is it proc dump? Oops, I just, of course, opened up the stupid Windows mail. Yeah, I think that'll do it, proc dump. And then I think I can just use the PID for that. So dash P. So this is dumping out. And then just for craps and giggles. Wait, what the crap is that? I mean, I get it. It's going to be a lot more than, or it should be once it comes out, should be a lot more than probably what's actually there. But my whole thing is, what are we actually looking at for the actual size of iExplore? So the executable, at least on my Windows 10 box currently, is 815 kilobytes. So obviously I would expect with Windows 7 it would probably be either less than or greater than. But we're still here just kind of waiting for everything to get extracted. Oh, we got that out. Okay. So let's try. Can we just do proc dump? Will that work? And see what jumps out. Of course, I think in the example they gave you, you actually need to do dash dash pid equals. But we'll see as to whether or not if it will just accept the shorthand dash p space. So what did this came out to be? Well, that's the stuff that's in memory too, so I guess I shouldn't be overly surprised. And we have an executable. Wow. 666.1 kilobytes, so smaller than. So just shits and giggles. What if we take 2016? Okay, so I guess I don't know what the hell I'm doing, at least at this particular aspect. Because we got all this stuff, so how do I go about getting this? I mean, we found it through OSINT, but it's just like, I mean, obviously, I think that we would want to get or can Mel find? I mean, can Malfind do some of the work for us? Dump each suspicious section. I'm doing more work than what I need to then. Malfind can do it for us. It's like I'm running through all this crap. Okay, so Malfind. We specify 3208 because it's the process we want. And then a dump directory. So then we want to kill or get rid of the executable, and then, well, we might maybe need the mem dump. I can always just run it again. Let's see if this works. Otherwise, I'd have to go through, and I would be trying to run foremost on the DMP file. That would be the memory dump, and see as to what I can parse out of there to see if there's an executable or a DLL or something else. Like, well, we got a DMP. And okay, so yeah, it did signify the MX. Okay, so then let's see if that worked, because when we just did the proc dump, it just told us, oh yeah, it's Internet Explorer. So if we do this one, okay, and this ties the two together then, okay. And we see Dexter, so Avast, AVG, spells it out. Alibaba, although DRG seems to be the other thing that I see popped up here. So I guess it's probably a good thing that we did a little bit of threat intel beforehand. Oh. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna have to do research then on Dexter. Well, I guess rather than redo the okay, that seems almost too. Okay, so I want to do some research on this, but so I do volatility Dexter in Google, and the very first thing is unpacking Dexter POS memory dump parsing malware from 2012. So somebody, or maybe they themselves, have come across this. Point of sale systems, take a look. Because we need to find what's our last one here? Because, we were able to find from, I'll have to see if I find something else that will go back to the all safe update. Which actually, in order to tie that portion together, I got MFT open, don't I? Yeah. Let me switch back over to, I mean, is that in the MFT record at all? No, it's not. Um, but obviously it's not running at the time because we don't see it in the PS tree. What about PSX view? Is there anything there that no all safe or anything else? Okay, so that's not going to help us. Um, Command scan for stuff that might have been run. Nothing there. And I'm not expecting much from command line because I don't think that's been helpful this run through. Crap. Jar file, all safe customer data.txt. Interesting. I explore, but yet, of course, nothing there that is the all safe update. I'm really surprised that command scan didn't have a dang thing. It was so helpful previously. Or did I just do it wrong? Or was it not? Was it target 1 or target 2 that that was helpful? Must have been target 2. Okay, target 2 dumps. Did I end up outputting? Yeah. Command scan. Which was helpful, but apparently we don't have anything like that this time. Then we got file scan. And we don't have this in either the MFT or file scan results. So it's like sockets and sock scan were worthless or useless, effectively. Itchy, itchy. Oh. Okay. So we got the Dexter aspect, and so I've got to go through and read this. Okay, so two PIDs, MZ header in the base of the region, so we've seen the exact same portion. So we need the base memory address from malfind, and we can run DLL dump, and then we want to specify the PIDs, so both PIDs then that were in that aspect. Okay. So this, that, DLL dump. So PID 3208. What was the other one? 3136. Oops. 3136. And then what does that article spell out then? What do we have to run? Dash dash base equals. Okay. Dash dash base equals. And then we need to malfind for both of those. Should be the same exact address section. Yes, looks like it. And supposedly that should do what we need. Yep. And then dash capital D. Maybe. Of course, the examples they give is from volatility 2.4. So hopefully, fingers crossed, nothing else has changed. Gotta give that a second. I wonder how in the heck we're gonna find. Where it was. Oh, okay. It extracted. So then we are going to want strings. module.3208. Grep all safe. But let's make sure. What was that other one? 31? Grep all safe. All safe underscore protector.exe. It's kind of interesting that that would be in there, but okay. So am I on? It's been a long day. Bear with me. We're in the home stretch. All safe underscore protector. Still have to go back though. So we go here. I'm gonna say difficult. Okay, so we still need, the only thing we have not been able to answer, short of using OSINT and threat intel data stuff, so on and so forth, is where in the hell in the volatility dump that we have is this all safe underscore update.exe? That is the question. I've got an idea, but I don't know if it's going to work. So my thought process is, oh, okay, let's switch this back over because we already know. We have the IP address. So what if we try to do Timeliner and we look for the IP to see as to whether or not if anything else shakes out from it? Because file scan and MFT were a bust, and there's no command scan results. So, I mean, realistically, the only thing we've been able to so far ascertain, if we take the OSINT and everything else out, is the CNC IP address and the fact that it's Dexter and that it dumps itself into iExplorer, or injects itself into iExplorer. So the real question is, will we get anything worth a Spriggan by trying this? And that is the one thing I did not run was Timeliner. Mostly because I don't want to have to pause this again if I can help it. Because I am apt to walk away. And then we're effectively out one more day. So it'll be a 4-day affair to get this stuff done. And honestly, I just want to be done. Not that I'm tired of any of this. I do enjoy it. I'm gonna have to. I mean, I don't want to subject anybody to be sitting there just without much or whole heck of a lot of extra anything to say. And I don't know how long this is going to take. And at the end of it, we may not actually get anything. Which would basically just mean this is just wasted bits. So I guess I'm going to have to break it unless as I move my mouse over to the pause button. Nope. Okay. So looks like we're going to pause one more time just for the sake of not having this, hopefully not have it reach 3 hours. Okay, back in a bit, hopefully. Okay, I kid you not. Within 10 seconds of hitting the pause button, we start getting results. And it looks like IE history does denote the gives us the all safe underscore update, thereby tying everything together into a complete circle. Everything's all nice wrapped up in a nice little neat package, and we can finally put a pin in this sucker. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten some sort of enjoyment out of this, even though I know it's long. But this has been the MrRobot exercise on CyberDefenders. Wait, is it actually CyberDefend? Yeah, CyberDefenders.org. Okay. It's been a Monday and a Saturday and a Sunday in order to get this done. But we are done in 3 days. And just sub of 3 hours. So that's this exercise. Everything all wrapped up. I will get some of the links put together so I can get rid of, stop showing Remnix. Just go to the web browser. So the typical ones, the volatility cheat sheet again. I don't know whether or not if I got anything out of some of these. But I'll get the stuff put together, get this kicked out. I think the way that this is going to be scheduled, it's going to be first week of June, maybe, for this to come out. So I may not be the first to sit there and actually have a semi-official walkthrough on this thing. But do please try to go through and do it yourself. Of course, I probably should have started with that, or maybe I did. I don't know. But so, again, the MrRobot exercise on CyberDefenders. All 24 questions answered. And with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.